announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, being Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, laws of the state of New Jersey. The Planning Board Secretary has prepared a schedule of the meeting of the Planning Board of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2025 and has posted a true copy of this schedule of the bulletin on the bulletin board located in the front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source and the Star Ledger, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in Borough Hall. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Acts have been satisfied in regards to this meeting. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Paserno?
Here.
Mr. David?
Here.
Mr. Clementi?
Here.
Mr. Pantina?
Here.
Mr. Mazzio?
Here.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Here.
Mr. Scuderi?
Here.
Mr. DeLuca?
Here.
Mr. Grimaldi?
Here.
And Mr. Puglisi?
Here.
Okay, is there a motion for the approval of the April 10 minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. DeLuca, seconded by Mr. Scuderi. All in favor?
Aye.
Communications?
Yes, Chairman. We received a letter from Stephen Hale requesting a special meeting on May 15th for application 2025-003, Core Reeve Incorporated, 2000 Galvin Hill Road.
Okay, so didn't we already have that down as a special for May 15th?
We had it down, but we didn't formally.
Okay, we can vote on that if you like. If the board members are in favor with a special on May 15th to hear Mr. Hale, is there a motion for it?
We had that already.
What's that?
Vote on it.
We have that, oh, we voted on
Oh,
it?
we didn't vote on it. We do have
We had it down, but we didn't vote. So we're gonna memorialize it, right?
I'll make a motion for a special meeting on May 15th for application 2025-003.
Is that at 6 o'clock, I think?
it. The special meetings are 7.
Our specials are 7, but we did say that for specials, if we wanted to move it to 6, we could, and most of us were in favor, or no?
It's okay with me.
You can set that now, Chairman.
Okay.
All right, so I'll amend my motion to say at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Okay, so motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Scuderi. Do we need a roll call?
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well.
Mr. Paserno?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Clementi?
Yes.
Mr. Pantina?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzio?
Yes.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Yes.
Mr. Scuderi?
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca?
Yes.
Mr. Grimaldi?
Yes.
And Mr. Puglisi?
Yes.
Okay, we also have next is a resolution 24-002, the Durham School Services Traffic Engineer. Mr. Rego.
Yes, the board indicated a preference to have Lee Klein as an independent traffic engineer similar to the Dunkin' Donuts facility. They asked Harbor to basically set that up, see what the parameters were, and they did. We got a letter back from Lee Klein with the fee, with his scope of services, and I did a resolution confirming that we were retaining through Christian's office.
Okay, so that needs a vote, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we need a motion to hire Mr. Klein.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Pantina, seconded by Mr. one of you guys out there, Mr. Grimaldi. And
Second regular.
roll call.
Mr. Paserno?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Clementi?
Yes.
Mr. Pantina?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzio?
Yes.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Yes.
Mr. Scuderi?
Yes.
Mr. DeLuca?
Yes.
Mr. Grimaldi?
Yes.
And Mr. Puglisi?
Yes.
Okay, we're making record time. I'm not going to do this all night, but I'm going to say this one time. Before we go into new business, we have found that we've been hearing a lot of static on the microphones, either from people talking in the audience or us up here primarily opening up plans, and then when we go back to review something, we can't hear it. So I'm going to ask my board members, our board members, as well as the people out there, when you're shuffling through these papers, we have to be cognizant if someone's speaking, we can't hear them when we have to play it back. Okay? And if everybody can mute their phones, then we could just move on to application 25-004, Kenilworth Corporation Property Urban Renewal LLC Substation.
All right, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Jason Tudell, attorney for the applicant. First, before we get started, let me just thank the board for having a special meeting. I know everybody's got a busy schedule, so the applicant is really appreciative of that. So this is a site plan application for the corporate campus at 2000 Galloping Hill Road, Block 181, Lot 1.01, on the tax duplicate.
I'm going to just interrupt. I'm going to move out of your way because I know you got this going, okay?
Oh, sure.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Does the camera got me there? Yeah, okay, good.
That's your good side.
It's got your good side.
There isn't.
Good? Okay. So it's a site plan application for a proposed substation that will serve hopefully a future data center on the site in the K11 building. This would be the third substation for this corporate campus, so it's something that's not unusual to the area. The substation under the current zoning and redevelopment plan, or the proposed substation that is a permitted use within the zone. It also meets or exceeds all the bulk standards set forth in the ordinance and doesn't exacerbate any pre-existing non-conforming conditions. And as your planner put forth in his letter, it's actually consistent and in furtherance of what the master plan promotes. So the applicant, as you well know, since we've been here for the subdivision before, is really working on this campus to invest in it and make it the best that it can be. So we're coordinating with PSE&G on this substation. They're going to maintain the substation, operate the substation, and work with the owner applicant on it. In terms of maintenance and some of the operational information that came up in the letter, we're going to address that during testimony, but just to preview it, the maintenance is very minimal. They do a once-a-week inspection with 1 to 2 employees, so there's very minimal traffic that results from this. They're going to maintain it from a security perspective in conjunction with the applicant. The site plan, as part of this application, I think is very, very insightful and responsible by the applicant and by the engineer based on its location. We actually modified the location of the substation from the initial submission that we did to move it a little further back from the residential area. So we're improving that. We're adding a wall to the substation in order to properly screen it, a fence, landscaping, which includes several hundred trees, many shrubs. We're reducing impervious coverage. We are adding new lighting that will be LED and dark sky compliant. We are also going to be repaving, restriping the parking areas. As part of this process with the PSE&G substation, we'll not only have to come to this board, but we'll also have to go to PSE&G. They're going to have to approve the substation based on their standards, and they're also going to have to go through other outside agencies as part of that, and we're happy to keep the board informed on our progress. We met with your board professionals, not only through their review letters, but also in person. We appreciate all their help in connection with this application. We looked at their comments, and there's nothing that we can't comply with should the board approve the application. So we plan on addressing all of their comments and questions through testimony. Mr. Chairman, I just have one witness that I plan on calling this evening, Daniel Miola, who's our project engineer. Representatives of the applicant are here, as you can see, in the event that there are any specific questions. But since this is a conforming application from a site plan perspective, I just thought Dan would be the best witness. But if there's some question that Dan can't answer, we have other people here just in case.
So maybe at this point, we could swear in Dan and maybe our professionals as well, so we can move that process.
Absolutely.
Christian and Kevin, gentlemen, with regard to this application, do you swear the testimony you may offer to be the truth?
I do.
So board engineer and the board planner, Daniel, with regard to this application, do you swear that your testimony shall be the truth?
Yes.
State your name and spell your last name, please.
Daniel Miola, M-I-O-L-A.
Thank you. And it was indicated that you're a licensed engineer. I think you've appeared before us before.
That's correct.
Your license is
In
still
good standing.
good. Okay.
All right, and just for the record, Mr. Chairman, I just want to indicate that I provided my affidavit of service and publication to the board, and I want to thank Kathy and Wanda for their help in this process, coordinating the special meeting as well. It was really helpful, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Dan, let's get started now that you've been sworn in and qualified. Why don't you just go over some of the existing conditions on the site, and then we can just jump right into the proposal.
Sure. So I'm going to first speak to an exhibit that shows an aerial of the existing site. It's up on the screen, as well as a board.
Is
here to my
this,
left.
excuse me, Daniel, is this something that we already have, or is this an exhibit
No, I
that needs to be marked?
Yeah, so
Let's mark it A1, and this is that. Correct. They're both the same?
Yeah, we provided everything to you per Mr. O'Brien's suggestion, 11 by 17s, big board, and computer. So you can see everything.
And roughly when was this taken? This aerial?
Within the last 2 years, say.
Within the last 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so, and Dan, you prepared this exhibit, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so why don't you continue?
So just to orient everybody, Galloping Hill Road is on the left part of this site. So north is actually twisted around to the left. The overall tract here is over 100 acres. It's 107 acres total. It has frontage on Galloping Hill Road, the Garden State Parkway, South 31st Street, and Swenson Drive. It was recently subdivided into 2 lots, one of which is 71 acres, the other is 36 acres. The project is proposed on the larger 71-acre piece. The tract was formerly utilized by Merck for research, laboratory, manufacturing, office, and data center uses. As we've indicated, the application proposes a substation which will be located in the parking area to the east of K11. So that would be this parking area, as I'm indicating with the pointer, is where we're going to locate this substation. It is within the parking area to the east of the building known as Nest 11 or K11. It is, however, west of the perimeter roadway that is the internal driveway, main access driveway through the site. So we've located this all inboard of the perimeter roadway. We have no above-grade improvements for this application outside of that spine road, if you will. As indicated, this substation is needed to bring additional power to the site in order to convert one of the buildings into a data center. The substation will be fed by new PSENG lines, which we expect will be underground. They are planning on bringing a service underground from Galloping Hill Road or the north side of the site, as well as another service from the south side of the site, which will come either through South 31st Street or Swenson Drive. PSENG has not finalized their final alignment of these feeder lines. So we've had 2 meetings with them with respect to the alignment of their feeder lines. And they are working on finding a corridor now through the site to feed this substation. The substation's primary purpose is to take those feeder lines, which are going to be 69 kV service, and reduce it to a voltage that can be used by the data center. So the voltage coming out of this substation will be 26 kV, so it's basically dropping the 69 kV voltage down to 26 kV, which is a more usable voltage for the data center. So that's the primary purpose. That's why we're here today. The campus already has 2 substations on it, on the east side of the site, actually outside the eastern perimeter road, as well as on the west side of the site by the Garden State Parkway. The campus also has a cogeneration plant, which also produces power. Even with these 3 power-producing facilities, this additional power is needed in order for this data center to utilize all the capacity that it can. And so that really explains I guess the overall purpose of the application. I'm now going to switch to my next exhibit.
Yeah, so Lou, we'll have to mark this as A2,
A2, yes.
and we'll switch it on the screen too. Dan, can you mind help to switch it on the screen?
Yes, I will. So exhibit A2 just shows a more zoomed in version of the site plan, and it's really a rendered version of the site plan, which was submitted in our application.
So everything on it is the same, it just colorizes the landscaping and superimposes it on the site plan. Here you go.
Thank you.
Mr. Tavel, you'll provide these electronically
Oh, yeah, of
for our
course.
administrator, sir.
Yep, once they're part of the record, we'll provide hard copies or digital copies, whatever you prefer.
Both, please. Thank you.
So I switched the orientation on you now, so now Galloping Hill Road would be at the top of the screen. And so this is, True North is straight up on this exhibit, just for reference. The road here that comes down is the main road that comes in from Galloping Hill Road. So to explain, the substation itself, it's basically a yard area with electrical equipment within it. This substation will be 1.3 acres in size. It will have a 14-foot high screen wall across the north part of the yard, as well as the east part of the yard, down to this eastern driveway. Along the south and west parts of this yard, it'll be a 8-foot high anti-climb ornamental fence, metal fence. So that will surround on all sides this substation, and it'll provide security for the substation. The substation will have two main points of access. One is out to the east, Perimeter Road. Another is out to the south parking lot. The yard will mostly be a gravel surface with asphalt pavement at the gated driveways into the yard. In terms of the components within the yard, we are proposing 3 transformers, which are these beigeish rectangles within the yard. There's also 3 switchgear yards, which are on the west, northwest part of the substation. And then there's a control house, which is really the brains of the operation. That will be a structure, about 12 feet high, 15 feet wide by 55 feet long, so under 1,000 square feet. It's not a manned building. It really just includes the controls for the substation. In addition to those are the major components. There's other components such as capacitor bank, 3 meters, as well as other ancillary equipment within the yard.
And Dan, just before you get into some other aspects of the site plan, just from a bulk perspective, the application complies with the ordinance and the plan. We don't exacerbate any pre-existing non-conforming conditions.
That's correct. With respect to maintenance, I know you touched on it, Jason, but just to provide some more testimony on that, there'll be weekly inspections performed by PSE&G personnel of this facility. They have an operations and maintenance manual that this facility will follow, and they are responsible for maintenance within the 69 kV substation components. The substation really only requires deliveries if a component or equipment fails and requires replacement. So otherwise, these are just weekly inspections. We don't expect any kind of regular deliveries here in the normal course. There are no employees stationed here to operate this substation. Service and maintenance efforts are usually done with a two-person crew and a PSE&G fleet vehicle. From a safety standpoint, there are many agencies with jurisdiction over this substation, including the New Jersey BPU, FERC, which is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, PJM, which is Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland Interconnection, LLC, OSHA, NJDEP, as well as the US EPA, all have standards that must be adhered to for this type of facility. Of all those agencies, really only one approval will be in written form for this substation. That is from PJM, which is the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland Interconnection Agency. And they have already indicated to PSE&G that they have approved this facility. We expect to have something in writing on that in the coming months.
And Dan, in addition to the fence and the wall that you indicated that would secure the substation, PSE&G is also responsible for security as well and working with the property owner, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, why don't we talk a little bit about landscaping, buffering, and the location of the substation in relationship to the other properties?
The location of the substation makes sense given it's inboard of that perimeter road, as well as it's close to the ultimate destination for this power, which is the Nest 11 building to the west of it. Given this location is on the east side of the site, and we do abut single-family residences on that part of the tract, we have taken several steps to screen this proposed substation from our residential neighbors. I guess I'll start with the substation and work my way out closer to the residential abutters. But first, as I explained, we have a 14-foot high brick screen wall on the north and east parts of the substation yard, and then it becomes the 8-foot high fence. Right outside of that, we have a row of evergreens, as well as a few deciduous trees along the south side, as well as the east side. Outside of that, there's the perimeter road that goes to the traffic light on Galloping Hill Road. On the east side of that perimeter road, there is a double row of of mature evergreen trees that provide existing screening for this part of the site. When you work your way further to the south, as indicated in this exhibit, we also have mature trees flanking the southern part of this perimeter road on both sides. So that's what exists. We're proposing to enhance it, not only with the row of evergreens on the south and immediate to the east of the substation yard, but we are also proposing 2 rows of evergreen trees on the outside of the perimeter road on the south side in order to provide additional screening for these homes that are on Rhineholt Terrace. And for the homes that are further north, which is Walton Avenue, we're providing similarly a double row of evergreen trees for additional screening. Overall, for Walton Avenue here, we have 58 evergreen trees within this buffer immediately adjacent to that property line. For Rhineholt Terrace, we have 65.
And that's in addition to the existing vegetation?
Correct. Correct. Outside what we need to remove for the yard itself, we're not removing any landscaping beyond that. We're just augmenting or supplementing what's out there. What's out there is pretty mature, so it doesn't really make sense to take it down. In total, we're proposing 169 evergreen trees, 13 shade and ornamental trees, and close to 100 shrubs in total. And so that's really the testimony on the landscaping as well as the buffering and screening that we're proposing for this substation. There are a few other improvements that I'd like to touch on in my testimony. First is for the parking lot to the south of the substation. Due to the introduction of this fence and the fact that this was an existing parking lot, as well as to accommodate the future area that will be used by the data center, we are also proposing to extend this fence down to the south in order to really cordon off this parking lot from what will ultimately be utilized by the data center user. And so because of the introduction of that fence to separate the two parcels, we are proposing to rework right along the fence, the curbing and parking. And so what's shown to the south of this main drive aisle, all this parking is here now. It's proposed to remain as is. We're going to seal the pavement with a seal coat, but we are proposing new curb and reconfiguring the parking immediately adjacent to the fence in order to make use of the space we have, the new space we have for this parking lot. So as part of that rework, there's 4 light poles that will be relocated. The rest of the lighting in this parking lot will receive new light fixtures, LED light fixtures. We do not expect or anticipate that those new light fixtures will be any brighter than what is out there already. In fact, they're new LED fixtures, and they'll be equipped with controllers and timers and things like that. And so we'll be able to dim them during the wee hours of the night. In addition to that, regarding lighting, there will be some lighting within the yard itself. All that lighting will be lower than 14 feet, which is the elevation of the wall, the screen wall itself. That is also on a switch, LED, and dimmable, and it is anticipated that it will be dimmable during those early hours.
Dan, just some of the items in the review letter, I just wanted to touch on. You did touch upon landscaping. Mr. O'Brien had asked if we could supplement the parking area with some additional trees. Would we be able to do that?
Yes, Mr. O'Brien had cited that relief would be needed for 11 trees that were deficient on for this surface parking lot. And we're going to agree to add those 11 trees in order to not require that.
Okay.
I agree with Mr. Tubella that that's a design waiver.
Yeah, we had talked about that. So, but based on the amount of trees that we're replacing with and the additional ones that you indicated before, you believe that it's a sensible design alternative?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And then in the board engineer's review letter, he asked you to touch upon stormwater and how drainage would be handled on site. Do you mind speaking to that?
Sure. As a result of putting a gravel yard on what is an existing asphalt pavement surface, water quantity, water quality, groundwater recharge is all improving. And so there's a net benefit to just removing that pavement and putting the gravel surface that's proposed here. And so that will improve both water quality, water quantity, and groundwater recharge for this area.
Okay.
And my firm did a stormwater management report that demonstrated that improvement.
One other item in the board engineer's review letter that I want to make sure we touched upon was, can you just clarify the amount of spaces that we have on the campus and what's required? I know that we comply, but if you could just indicate what the totals are.
As we're decreasing the amount of parking, because this is going over an existing lot, by 189 spaces. The remaining amount of parking on the campus will total to 2,879 spaces, which is enough parking to service the rest of the buildings on the site based on the zoning, which we've calculated that based on zoning, this site requires 2,793 spaces. So we have a surplus of about 80 spaces.
Okay, and then one of the items in Mr. O'Brien's letter, just so we hit that, there's no proposed identification signage with the application, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you've had a chance to review both Harbor's letter dated April 17th, 2025, as well as Mr. O'Brien's letter, I believe it's dated April 22nd, 2025, and you'll agree to comply with all those items set forth therein if you haven't touched upon them already?
Correct. I agree to comply with all comments from those 4 professional letters.
All right, and just to sum up, in connection with the proposal, you believe that there is a benefit as it relates to landscaping, stormwater, and lighting to the overall property, correct?
Yes.
And you don't see any negative impacts to the surrounding properties as a result of the proposal?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have for Mr. Miola. We're happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay. At this point, does the board have any questions for Mr. Miola? Mr. Mazzio?
Just a quick question on parking. What was the reason again for separating the two parking areas?
The lots were, this overall 107-acre lot was recently subdivided. And the subdivision goes right along this line. And so we're putting a fence up to really delineate that division between the two lots. And because of the introduction of that fence, that required the reconfiguration of this parking area, because you can't have an aisle that ends in a fence.
And are those southern and new parking space, that's part of the overall calculation or it's not?
It is part of the overall calculations, but they largely exist today. Again, along the fence itself, there was a reconfiguration needed. So for these rows that immediately abut the fence, those are new parking spaces, but the rest of these are existing spaces.
Thanks.
Anyone else have any questions? Mr. Clement?
What's the height of the brick wall?
14 feet.
Mr. DeLuca?
I have a question about drainage. You're saying that the Q factors on the watershed are going to be less? I mean, you did the drainage report, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now you're removing the existing stormwater from the parking lot. You're stripping it down, and what are you putting the backfill with?
Gravel.
Just gravel? You pay?
It's just going to be straight
gravel.
gravel.
Big gravel?
Yep.
And your anticipation when you did the drainage calcs that it'll percolate into the soil and there'll be no excess coming off that? As far as
There'll be a little runoff.
Okay, all right.
Yep. But overall, it's an improvement compared to the existing.
I think it'll be, I'm just a little concerned about where you're doing your runoff. Is it going to go back and filtrate back into the existing stormwater drainage in the parking lot, or is it going to go off somewhere
The
else?
substation will be equipped with a series of inlets and pipes.
Okay, good. And you provide that where the drainage is going to go?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? So I just want to ask a question to be clear. As part of your testimony, Daniel, you said that you put into your testimony lighting, trees, shrubs, fencing, of course, the capacitor and the substation. That's really what we hear, the wall. So everything that we talked about tonight is part of this application, and we won't have to hear that again going forward. If you're approved tonight for that, we won't hear that again. That's part of this application.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay, there's no more, oh, yes, Mr. Grimaldi.
Can I ask a member of the board a question, because he also happens to represent the fire department?
Well, of course.
You guys okay with the 14-foot wall? It goes from the west, it's the main access point to the...
Listen, if the substation's done, we're going to be with ladder trucks and pipes and a lot. They spoke with our fire official,
You guys have looked.
and he kind of spoke to me about it, and we're going to have access around the site.
That was it.
Mr. O'Brien.
To assist in that answer, we were on site on Tuesday, and the site manager assured us that they had been in touch with the fire department, and that the plans had been reviewed, the fire department was aware of, and everybody was comfortable with what was presented.
I was hoping that the board would have dialogue after we open up to the public, and then maybe something can stir up, and then we could have our conversation, and then do our voting. Okay? What I'd like to do, is there any other questions for the professionals at this point? We'd also like to reserve the right to have them come back if we need anything. I think what I'd like to do, if there's a motion at this point.
To the public. Make a motion to open this application hearing to the public.
Motion made by Mr. David, second by Mr. DeLuca. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak about this application and this application only? All right, seeing none.
I make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Okay. Oh, second, made by Mr. David, second by Mr. DeLuca. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, I think it's a good time for us to have some dialogue to see where we're going to go with this, if there's any more dialogue to be had. Anyone else to have any other questions pertaining to anything? None. None. Our professionals? Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Your staff and our chair went to the site on Tuesday at the invitation of Onyx. We saw the site of the substation. Could you leave the aerial up, please, Dan? Thank you. That's a nice picture. Wow. His mom loves it. And we had a really good view of what was going on here. I have photographs of the site and of the surrounding area, should the board want to look at them. But I can assure the board that regarding the view of the substation from Walton, which is
Over there.
Somewhere on the map.
There's Ryan,
Yeah.
that's Walton.
up at the top as well. Thank you. We were able to see those homes from very close on the site. In fact, we found out the other day that there is a super secret tract at 8 feet wide with, you know what, I'm going to scratch that testimony because we're in a public hearing. So, anyway, we were able to go over behind those residences and then go to the new substation site. And I can't believe that there's going to be any view of this new construction from those residences, nor will there be any view from anywhere else within the borders of the beautiful borough of Kenilworth. So we did have a very productive site visit. I say I do have photographs should the board be interested. I'll point out to the board that this is a site plan application. There's a couple of pre-existing variances in the design waiver, all within the parameters of the redevelopment ordinance. And all of my concerns have been addressed. Any other particulars I have will be addressed in site plan resolution.
Thank you.
Welcome any questions from the board.
Any questions? Okay, so, thank you very much. So I too was part of that team that went out to do a site visit, and I wanted to assure the board members of a couple of things of what I took home with me. I think from a standpoint of understanding construction and understanding what they're trying to accomplish, they made every effort to try to blind everything that's going on in this substation with the trees, the berms, the buffering, and it was very important that I saw that with my own eyes to convey it back to you. I know that everybody was worried where Kenilworth starts and maybe Union begins, and I was a little disoriented when I got there, and I actually thought part of that was on our side. But we also, not we, they also took care of our neighbors as well, which we need to be concerned with all the time. As far as the wall going up, you can kind of see once you're there, it's not going to be offensive. You can see that where the gate, the fence is going to pick up and go around, it's going to lend itself to a natural beauty line. They're also taking into consideration not to match the wall that was out there in its entirety already from many years ago, and they're going to introduce a different style, color of wall, which will lend itself to the new motif, let's say. And so I just wanted you guys to know that there is a buffer road that can get back there. There is a fence between the neighbors, and then a buffer road, and then another fence, and then a berm, and then trees. And I mean, when you stand there, you can't see anything. What impressed me too was that they took the time, I guess it was an A2 slide, you could see it better where the existing substation is, which is, I believe, Meta told me it's about 250 feet or 260 feet from Okay, that's that little white hash mark, I think, up in that right corner. Is that right there?
Yep.
So up there, to the first house, it's 250 or 260 feet away, which you can't see anyway. But coming back down into where the news station is going to be, the closest house is all the way down, I think that would be to the west, and all the way down in the corner here.
Is this one?
Yeah, that would be the south, right?
That's south. Yep.
It reduced, but by it's 210 feet, but you can't see anything. I was struggling, and we're not in full foliage yet, to actually see the staircase. So I wanted to bring that back. It wasn't just a walk and having tea. We had to make sure that everything was working the way they presented. So that's my input on what's going on here tonight. Anyone else? Okay.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
I think we did it. Okay, is there a motion on the floor does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve application 25004.
Thank you for helping me there, Mr. Ladati. Mr. Ladati made a motion. Is there a second? Second by everyone else. Mr. Scuderi, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Mr.
Please.
Paterno?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Clementi? Yes. Mr. Pantina?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzio?
Yes.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Yes.
Mr. Scuderi?
Yes.
Mr. Luca?
Yes.
Mr. Grimaldi?
Yes.
And Mr. Puglisi?
Okay.
Great, thank you very much. I just had one question for the board. The applicant is eager to get this moving. If we were to file for building permits while resolution compliance was pending, we obviously know that the permits can't be issued until Kevin and Christian sign off on the plans. We can understand that. But would the board have any objection to us pre-filing those permits in advance of the meeting of
So
compliance?
what this board normally would tell you is that it goes against the grain to do something like that. However, Mr. Rego will expedite a resolution as quickly as possible. But if you did decide to do something like that, you're flying at your own risk.
Understood.
If you build something, we could have you take it down. But in the past, we have done that. I don't see, as the chairman, I don't see as a problem with that. But again, you would be going at your own risk.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the state regs were amended to allow us to do that, but it actually says what you just said, which is that if you do that, you are doing that subject to your own risk and anything changing, so.
So I will ask the board, does the board have an objection if he did do something?
Well, the other thing I was going to offer, Mr. Chairman, is that we have, I don't know if it's appropriate, but we have a special meeting on May 15th, so that's not that far away, which is sooner than our next board meeting, so perhaps we can add it to the agenda for that night, assuming that Lou can have the resolution
I'll
in
have
time.
Bob ready.
I'd be happy to get that on,
Okay, great. No, thank you very much.
okay? And we can do it that way.
Great, thank you.
Okay? And thank you very much for a perfect application.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, next thing, any comments for the good of the board?
Special meeting, May 15th, 6 PM here.
Special meeting,
May 15th.
6 PM here, no workshop.
No workshop.
That's CoreWeave
This will
and
be
a resolution.
The data center in K11.
Okay,
This is the
And the
substation
resolution.
power
and the resolution.
and the resolution.
Okay.
I just want to say, I wish all that, sometimes you struggle getting through these applications. When people are well prepared, presentations are well, all our questions are answered. It's just such a smoother process. I wish all our applicants could do
I
that.
couldn't agree with you more. I don't know if you gentlemen heard that. Mr. Ladati did express that when applications come in and well-prepared, it makes our life a lot easier, and thank you for that. I know it took a lot of time to put together, so thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, someone make a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Clementi. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak?
I see no one. Make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
Motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Mazzio. All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Pantina. All in favor? Aye. Good night, sweetheart. Where it's time to go.